And what an awesome show for our friend Dustin Poirier. Stops Conor McGregor in the second round. I mean, in my opinion, he beat him soundly. I mean, for first round, I think you could have argued either way. I think some people had it for Dustin, some people had it for Conor, but I think Dustin had the better game plan, obviously. Took his leg apart with those calf kicks. I mean, looked like Conor could barely stand up at the end, and at the end it almost looked like he kind of capitulated, like just resigned to take the punches and go down, taking nothing away from Dustin striking, but it just looked like once the leg was gone, it kind of took all the fire out of McGregor, and he was resigned to just take a beating, and that's what he got. And congratulations to Dustin. I know you've got a lot of thoughts on this one, and quite honestly, you predicted this one exactly. You pointed out in our last show that Dustin was a completely different fighter than the first time. He was mature, he was calm. You could see not only in his entrance into the ring and the build up to the fight, but even after the victory, he was like almost emotionless and just kind of like business, just all business, like the quarterback that would run into the running back would run into the end zone and just hand the football to the referee like, yeah, I'm not surprised. This is what I get paid to do. And that was Dustin's demeanor on Saturday, just all business, and he took him apart. I mean, he really put on an awesome performance. What'd you think?
Like Jim Brown, the running back, maybe the greatest running back of all time. He played less seasons, shorter seasons, much less carries than the guys that, Emmitt Smith, all those great running backs, don't get me wrong, tremendous. But he had less carries than all of them. And I think most football people that really consider themselves expert on that sport would say maybe Jim Brown was the greatest runner of all, even though maybe two guys are ahead of him now with yardage, 2 or 3. I don't know exactly where, but he used to be known for that. He would run into the end zone, as you just said, and instead of doing one of these elaborate celebrations, he would just hand the ball to the umpire, to the referee, and walk away. And one time a newspaper guy asked him, "Hey, Jim, you never slam the ball down. You never do any of these things that are becoming more and more exotic from some of the players that get in the end zone. How come?" And Jim Brown gave the right answer, the answer you expect from somebody who's great at what they do and with the confidence of it. He said, "I've been there before, and I expect to be there again." So
I want to also point out one of the tweets you sent out that I liked during the fight. You said experience and maturity can free you up from wasted and harmful emotions. It showed tonight for Poirier, and great prep and fight plan didn't hurt, and he executed it. It was a perfect summation of what happened.
Yeah, listen, I felt good about his chances, and we obviously I stated that, and we covered it. I felt good that this is a fight that people were counting him short if they thought he had no chance because of what happened 6 years earlier, 6 or 7. I'm not exactly sure of the calendar, but he was a different guy. That's where it starts. What I said before this fight, what I said on our podcast, and if you guys were listening, you know what? You went to my bookie, yeah, you might have made a couple shillings, Also, when I said freed up, what did I mean by that? His maturity. His everything. He now, 80% of this game, Ken, is mental. 75, 80%. In my business, I always said 75. In this business, I'd say it's more like 80. Now, a lot of people say, Teddy, what about the kicks, the elbows, the condition? Yeah, we know all that. I got you. You get to a certain level of that. Some guys are more talented than others. 80% of it, to use whatever skills you have in that octagon, in that cage, under those circumstances, with that environment of fear and danger, you have to mentally be superior. You have to mentally be on top of your game, be in control of yourself, be a master, just like you have to be a master with all your physical abilities, kicking, jiu-jitsu on the floor, grappling, wrestling, striking. You have to be a master of the mind, in control of your emotions. He wasn't a master back 6, 7 years. He wasn't in control of his emotions and his mind to the level he was now. I, in some ways, he went into that first fight, in my estimation, being in this business, in the fight business, 45 years, in my estimation, not in control of himself in the way you have to be. I'm not talking about in control of physically your domain of what you're responsible for as far as conditioning and knowing what to do. But I'm talking about controlling your emotions. I'm talking about, you could see he was impacted by the trash talk. And I make no excuses. McGregor was the better guy. And he won, just like Poirier was the better guy and won this time. But I'm explaining something to people, hopefully, in a way that they can better, that it's helpful and that you can better appreciate what goes into this sport. The first time I believed that Poirier, there was too much furniture in the room. In the room being the attic, the head, the mind, where it was jumbled up with things it shouldn't be jumbled up with. He hadn't gotten to the place where he could clear the room. Now he had. Clear the room of negative things, of things that have no place at that level. Where he was just in there, he was in there throwing down, if you want to use that term that we used to use, a lot of times the kids would use in the fighting. Well, let's throw down. So he was in there to throw down, but he wasn't in there the first time in a calculating way to fight professionally at that level, to do the things that are part of a professional fight at that level, more than just throwing down. He was there ready to, let his hands go, ready to engage, to take on the challenge. But he wasn't there in a way that he was there on Saturday night, where, as I said, he eliminated the noise. He eliminated the furniture that was just taking up space, where he knew what it was about. And when you know what it's about, and when you get to that place, if you get to it, and that's what you're striving for, I know that's what I'm pushing my guys for as a teacher, as a trainer. When you get to that place, you're free. He wasn't free the first time. He was hostage to those feelings. But this time he was free. This time it was only about what it should be about. In anything you do, Ken, baseball, football, basketball, business, lawyer, doctor, teacher, whatever it's about, he was free to concentrate on just what it was about, fighting, having a plan and executing that plan, and taking your emotions and putting them where they need to be put, and controlling them and using them in the right way. That's what he was. That's where it starts for me and for him. And then he had a great plan. He had a great plan, and I said it during the tweets. I said it before the fight. It wasn't any secret that McGregor's a fast starter, an explosive starter, a quick twitch kind of talent, explosive, and that sometimes Poirier could be a slower starter. And he had to be obviously very, very aware of that and do something about it. And he had a plan to do something about it. And when everyone else was kind of almost giggling, especially the backers of Conor, and I get it. And I'm not taking a shot at you at all. I applaud you guys. You guys are, like all the fans I applaud, you're loyal fans. And your guy obviously in no way shamed himself. He never does. And none of these guys do. They don't know how. But what I'm saying is that some people, you could almost see the giggle, like a giggle like after the first round. Like, ho, 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 it's going to be the same. Oh, it was a bad round. And I wasn't looking at bad round for Poirier. Ken, I wasn't looking at that. And I even tweeted it. I wasn't looking at it as a bad round. He lost the round. But I was looking at it as a good round. I was looking at like everything's going according to plan. Like he slowed it down. He had to get into the fight. He had to give himself a place to build off of, a belief that he could build off, something to jump off of for the second round. He had to get past that first round. Not just survive it, but without too much damage. But he had to get past that first round. And again, just build some kind of platform for himself to jump off the next round, to move forward off mentally. Physically too, but mentally. And he did. And he had to have a plan to do that. He got in close. He went to the floor, got up against the cage, got nullified. He stretched it out. He stretched it out. Sometimes you got to stretch the game out. You got to slow it down. Fights too, Ken. And you got to stretch it out. Buy some time. And he did.
Yeah.
By doing that, even though he lost the first round, he was able to build off of that. He was able to get control of the fight and have control of himself for the rounds that were coming. And it worked. So that's where it starts for me. From being a different guy and then from having a great plan. He had a tremendous plan. He knew exactly. And then for me, I was saying, because when he got in close, he took Conor out of his best element, striking from a distance. And he kind of like sent a signal, I'm going to get close to you. He sent a mental signal. Really? There's a lot to this. Like a message. I'm going to get close. I can get to you when I want to. I can, kind of like those movies where you saw the guy, I can get to you anytime I want. Just a reminder. Anytime I want, I can get to you. It was like a mental thing. I can get to you. I can get close. You're not going to keep me where you want on the outside, where you're going to show that great striking ability and great power with the left hand. No, I can get close. So, and he kept him away, whether it was for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, minute and a half. He kept them from those 2 minutes, those minute and a half, those 3 minutes of doing what he does best. He kept them from doing that. That's a win. That's what people, I just had to make sure that people see that there's more to it than sometimes what meets the eye. So, the second round, he goes and he's in a good place. And for me, the fight plan had to be, and you could see it was, you know his strengths. You know, Clint Eastwood used to say in those Dirty Harry movies, you know, a man must know the other man's strengths and a man must know his weaknesses. And it's true. And he knew the strength of Conor was, don't let him keep you at the end of his punches. Don't be at the end. Change your distance. Either be all the way out or all the way in. But don't get caught at the end of his punches. He's got a reach advantage. He even used that reach advantage against Mayweather, Ken. He won the first 4 rounds. He was ahead after 4 rounds against Mayweather. I know what happened, but I'm just saying. Let's not forget that. McGregor was ahead for 4 rounds. I was there. I was there ringside doing the fight for SportsCenter, for ESPN. He was ahead after 4 rounds. And then Mayweather, the great Mayweather, did what he had to do. Took advantage of the things he had to take advantage of. But he was ahead for using his length, using his southpaw style and his reach. Well, Poirier knew that he had to make sure that he didn't allow him to use his reach, to keep him at the end. So he changed range. Very subtle, but I noticed it. Changed range. He didn't just stand there. He did like the old-timers would say, the real trainers. They used to say, hey, take a walk downtown. I love it. Take a walk around the block. You know, don't stand in front just doing nothing. You know, like I would tell fighters. What did your grandmother and your mother used to tell you? If you hang out on the corner, nothing good's going to happen. You're going to get in trouble. Something bad's going to happen. Well, if you hang out in front of the guy, something bad's going to happen, like a left hand. Bang! That's bad. That's bad. So Get out of the corner. Take a walk downtown. He did. He changed distance. He did those things. He was prepared. He understood this time what he had. And he was calm enough and control. He got rid of the furniture where he didn't bang into stuff where he couldn't do it. He could mentally do it. He was prepared to do it. To concentrate just on fighting, nothing else. Not all the other stuff that got into his skull 6 years ago. I'm telling you. So now he does that. And then, even though Conor's a great counterpuncher, Dustin's a hell of a striker too. If you get Conor to give up his height a little bit, which everyone's going to make a mistake, maybe get a little overconfident, start to think I'm going to get to him again like I did 6 years ago, and get a little too close, you could counter him. When you get those chances, counter the counterpuncher. Oh, my God. That's what he hurt him with. He countered him with his left hand. He got Conor a little too close, gave up the reach, and he countered him with the left hand. It wasn't just brute force. Smart. It was a beautiful technique. He hurts him with that. And then, Poirier's a good puncher. You know why? Because his feet are always set. He's always balanced. He's always grabbing the floor. He's always grabbing the floor, Ken, where he's balanced. He's always in position to deliver, to shift the power into the punch because his feet are under him. And he was that again when he had to be. He's a really good striker. All those things. But you know what he's really was great at that night? He was a great finisher. Not everyone's a great finisher. You are. He was a great, and I'm talking about great finisher. He is a hell of a finisher. He did it against Gaethje. Was it Gaethje? Gaethje. He did it against a lot of guys. That's not an accident. He is a tremendous finisher. Like, I'll put him up there. People are going to say, whoa, you're putting him with. But, I mean, he was a finisher in my sport. He was Jack Dempsey, one of the great finishers of all, the Manasseh Mauler, one of the great finishers in the history of boxing. Joe Louis. Oh, my God. Joe Louis. My Joe Louis, who I love, he's like in those levels when you compare the two sports, I mean. You know, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a great finisher. Joe Louis, Jack Dempsey. These guys were great finishers. They hurt you. They got rid of you for the most part. And that's what Dustin did. When he hurt him, I mean, my family was all excited there because, you know, they obviously know we're rooting for him. And they were like, do you think he, wait, it's not over. I said, no, it's over. And I never say that. I'm too superstitious. I've been around too long. I never say that, Ken. But I said, no, it's over. It's over. Because I know what kind of finisher he is. And I just wanted to take the time to break it down to the level that I just did. Because I think he deserves it. I think the fans deserve it in a way that they can appreciate that it's more, which I know the fans do, but on a certain level, you can always appreciate even more of there's more than just brute force. There's more than just toughness. There's more than just conditioning and great cardiovascular, which these guys have all of that. There's more than just an ability to endure, to take pain, to find a way, to discover new places, to shine a light in a dark place that had been dark before for most people, and it remains dark for most people, but to go and shine a light in those places and to show you can go beyond the dark. You can go where the light ends. And there's even more. There's this that goes with it. That's my story. That's what I wanted to bring to this. And Dustin, congratulations, buddy. I know he's coming on our show, that he'll be coming on soon for all the fans out there. And listen, it's also, isn't it a little extra nice, like a cherry on top, when the guy's a nice guy too? That isn't that a nice? Doesn't that make us feel a little extra good as a guy that runs a charity that helps people, that benefits people that have tough lives, and he makes their life a little better, and he cares about doing that, and he's dedicated to doing that. Isn't it nice? Isn't that a little cherry on top? I think so.